Hey everyone, Bill here. Just wanted to do a video, show you how to set up the Chuck Rotary. This is the one I ordered from Boss. It's not the new upgraded version, this is the older version. But just wanted to walk you through the process of how to do it. That way, can hopefully help somebody out in the future. So first thing, if I'm gonna, I put the Rotary in here, Chuck on the right side, okay? I don't think it really matters on the Chuck Rotary. I know on the other Rotary it does, but on this one I don't know if it really matters, but that's just how I have mine set up. So what I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna come over here to light burn first, because if I don't do this, I notice that when I plug the Rotary in, it makes a god-awful noise, and I think it's because the speed is too fast. So I'm gonna come up here to the tools, go down to Rotary setup, okay? And I want to make sure that the enabled Rotary is on. So it's on right now. If I click it, that's off. This is on. And then we'll get to these numbers here in just a minute. But I'm gonna go ahead and click OK. And now I'm gonna come over here to the machine. I'm gonna power it off. Okay. Come over here, open this right side door on mine. I have the LS1420. I'm gonna pull this out of the way, not too hard or fast, but just enough pressure to move it. I'm gonna disconnect this right here. This is your Y-axis. So I'm gonna pull that out, maybe. There we go. And then we're gonna take the one from the Rotary, which is here, okay, from the Chuck, and we're gonna plug it in that spot. I run it underneath the Y-axis there. I haven't had any issues with it getting caught up or anything, so this is how I've been doing it. All right, sorry for my poor camera skills, and this only goes in one way, so if it's not working, just kind of turn it until you feel it slip in. Don't force anything, of course. All right, so now that that's hooked up, go ahead and close this door here. And if your Chuck is real high, make sure, if this is sitting up higher above your laser head and it's gonna, laser head's gonna smack it, make sure you push this back all the way, so that way when you turn the machine back on, because this is gonna move back over here to the right, the laser head is. And obviously you don't want it ramming into your Chuck, so just push it back, make sure it's clear from everything, and then we're gonna turn it back on here. Okay, turn it back on, wait for it to reset. And you'll see that the Chuck is spinning there. I need to. So actually, let me redo that again so you can kind of see what happens. All right. So I'm just kind of moving everything. All right. Now let's try it again. Should. Yeah. See, Chuck's turning. You got to wait for it to stop. We're waiting. Yeah, if I didn't enable the Rotary on light burn, that thing would be making a really loud, awful noise right now. So you see now it's stopped and it's slowly spinning the other direction. So now we're going to push this all the way back and pull forward. And when you do that, it stops and then it changes direction. Now it's slowly spinning the other direction. So we got to push this back, pull it forward one more time. And then now it's all good. Mine did that because I have the origin set on the machine. If you don't have your origin set, it should just, stay where it's at. But all right, so now that's set up and ready to go as far as, switching everything out in here. We can come back over here to light burn. For every machine, this is different, but from what I understand on the 1420s and the 1416s, so we went to tools here, going back to the Rotary setup. But anyway, on those, I believe the steps per rotation is usually, if I'm not mistaken, 6185, okay? But it's, sorry, my thing's not, it's usually a little different depending on the machine. So you set that, and then this is gonna be the diameter of whatever object you're trying to do, right? So for example, if I wanted to do this wine cup, I need to measure the diameter, okay, which is from one end to the other. I need to measure that diameter right here, and that's the number I put in. Now I've created a couple of cheat sheets here. Try to find the one with the wine bottle, the wine tumbler. Okay, so this is my little cheat sheet. All right, I already measured the diameter, so the diameter is 3.5128, right? So I'm gonna put that in here. Object diameter, 3.5128. And you'll see that the circumference automatically updates. So as long as you have the circumference or the diameter of whatever object you're trying to engrave on, it'll update off of each other and you should be good to go. All right, so now, again, we're starting with 6185. This is gonna be adjusted because that's not the number that works good with my system, my setup. And I'll show you how I came up with the number I have. So anyway, we're gonna click OK, right? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get this here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my cup in here. Get my chuck key. Okay, and if you want to check and make sure it's going to spin straight while it's mounted in there, you can just move the y-axis, you know, on your panel and make sure it's spinning straight. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave it like that. All right, so how we figure out the that first number in the rotary setup is we're going to do what's called a circle test. So okay, now that we have the rotary all set up, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this back over. Okay. And I'm gonna use my focus tool to set my Z height. Typically you wanna try to go off of the highest point of the cup, which on the wine cups, you know, is down towards the bottom right here. So that's what I'm going off of. Okay, so I got my Z height set. And then I just look down from the top and make sure that it's fairly centered on the cup, you know, front to back on the y-axis. Okay, so we're centered up. I'm gonna go ahead and just make that the origin for now. Okay. So now we're gonna come back over to Lightroom real quick. And we're gonna create a circle. So I'm gonna go over here to the circle tool, and if you hold, it's hard to do this. If you hold Control Shift, it'll draw a perfect circle. I'm gonna do that real quick. I gotta set the phone down. Sorry. Okay, so I got my perfect circle. All right, I'm gonna make that a 1-inch diameter circle. All right, so we got 1 inch. Boom. Right. Now over here on the laser, we want to make sure I'm keeping mine on user origin. I told it where home is. When I hit the origin button, that's what I did. I said that's your new home. So now when it's working from that position, not absolute coordinates. And then I use selection origin because if you're working on multiple things and you have an object over here outside of the box or even inside of the box, it's going to take the origin for everything, the center of everything. But if you turn on use selection origin, it will only do the origin off of whatever object you select. So I have the circle selected. That's, you know, now that's the new origin because this is the new circle selected, right? So that's what I do on that. There was something else I forgot. What was it? All right, so anyway, I'm gonna update the overlay real quick so you can kind of see. Move that laser out of the way. Update it again here. Okay, so this is the circle test, right? Put your circle on whatever piece you're trying to do. I'm gonna go ahead and set up when you update the overlay, it automatically changes this back to absolute coordinates. So make sure you go back to user origin. Okay, now I'm gonna change the laser settings. So we're gonna do, yeah, we'll do 20, but I'm gonna go like 11 on power. So 20, 11, 11, right? I'm doing line mode. You know, make sure you're doing this on a scrap piece. Don't, you know, that cup got messed up, so I'm using a messed up cup. So whatever you're doing, if you have something you can practice on, please do. Okay, so now we've got that. And basically, I think that's it. So now we're gonna go ahead and burn it. And shut this. I'm gonna run that file real quick. Turn on my air, my water. My apologies, I don't have air turned on right now. Give me just a second. Okay. I always try to have at least a little bit of air so no debris gets on the lens. Alright, I'm gonna run that file real quick. Okay. Go ahead and turn on the air here. Alright, so now this is going to be the kind of tricky part here. So where you guys can see. Just won't let me zoom in. Alright, so I'm going to move it. This circle here. So apparently I accidentally stopped the video when I was recording it earlier and cut off the remaining like 4 minutes or so. But, all right. So where it cut off was the first burn I ran on that cup, right? And what we want is for that circle to actually look like a circle. So this was the first one we burned. Okay, on that test. So I'm gonna set my calipers here to 1 inch, exactly 1 inch. Okay, so we're at 1 inch. Now if I measure, you know, left to right, which is the x-axis, you can see lines up pretty good, 1 inch, right? But if we check it front to back, you can see there's a gap there on the top part. We want it to look as circular as possible, not kind of oval like that one does. So what I did, you know, what you do, whenever you increase the steps per rotation, that 6185, if you increase it, it's going to increase the Y portion of the burn. So it'll actually close this gap down here. So my machine is 6725. When I changed it to, you know, you increase that number and measure again. Increase that number and measure again until you get pretty close to what you can see as a perfect circle. So when I change it to the 6725, okay, this is the new one that I burnt, that I apparently did not get on recording, but you can see, for one, it looks more like a circle to begin with, but x-axis, still pretty good. Y-axis, axis, however you want to say it, as you can see, looks pretty spot on, right? So it looks more of like a true circle versus this one here that we burned earlier. It looks more kind of a oval from top to bottom. So that's what the steps per rotation is to try to get as little distortion as possible whenever you engrave something. Okay, that's the part that got messed up. So this is now a practice cup. So anyway, and then also too, I forgot to mention with the chuck rotary, you don't have to worry about mirroring your image, because I didn't with this, and as you can see, it turned out great. So yeah, just keep increasing that steps per rotation until that circle comes out pretty, you know, as close as you can possibly get it to a perfect circle. So again, you know, on my machine, it is 6725. Okay, this top number. So it's, my machine's not on, that's why it's reading 360. But yeah, make sure that's, start at 6185, increase it until you get a perfect circle like you saw earlier, which my number is 6725. All right, and remember, whatever you're engraving, so if you change your style of cup, you have to measure the diameter of the new cup and update it in here. Otherwise, you could end up with a distorted picture. So, you know, update it. And, you know, I've got these little cheat sheets that I write down for each cup. So 15-ounce mug with the handle, you know, that's my diameter. Plastic travel mug, that's my diameter. Water bottle, that's my diameter. So you create little cheat sheets, that way you're not having to measure every single time, especially if you're, you know, using the same cups over and over again. Also, whenever you're working with the rotary chuck. Sorry, it sounds like I'm saying truck. Anyway, don't do that. Never leave your key in there, because you're gonna forget, and if you do, it's gonna spin and probably get caught up, slip some gears, possibly ruin a belt or a gear. I know some of these gears are plastic, so just make sure you don't leave that in there. That's a good rule. Never leave that laying in the chuck. So anyway, that should be it for the most part. If you don't have a set of dial calipers, I highly recommend you get some. You know, they come in handy for other things besides just measuring the diameters of your cups and everything. So I believe that's covers it for the most part. I'm not sure what else I can add to it, but you know, if there's anything I missed or you think that should be addressed, just go ahead and leave a comment in the below, and hopefully this video helps somebody out with getting it all set up. Thanks for watching.